All right, so I'm gonna give my honest review of the new Loud plugin. Now, my honest opinion is that this thing is amazing, and it saves a lot of time and a lot of thought process when it comes to producing, and it definitely increases productivity when it comes to getting beats out consistently. Oh man! All right, so look, the loud plugin is going to increase the perceived loudness of your track. Now, it's meant to be placed on your master as you're producing your music, so that the decisions that you make as a producer while you're producing are naturally amplified and presented at the optimal level for your music to be released. So that when you finish making your beat, you can just export it and it's presentable. It's competing. It's at a high level. It's clear. It's impactful. That's all we really want as producers, right? So it does it in a very transparent way. It prioritizes bass and drums, heavy drums, because this is meant for the hip hop and R&B genres. Now, is this a magic pill? No, it's not a magic pill, but it can be a magic pill for the person that knows what they're doing with it. So let's look at it. Now, I find myself a lot of times turning down bass and drums, even coming out straight out of the plugin, or if I put it into the track, Loud tends to just amplify it. And a lot of times those sounds are the loudest in your mix anyway. So I tend to bring those down to balance them out with everything else. And I'm coming out with some really good results at the end of the track. So check it out. This beat right here, I produced with the Loud plugin on the master. And let's see how it turned out. We're going to do a before and after. So before, well, let's do after. This is what it sounds like with the Loud engaged as soon as I finish producing the track. All right, so let's turn it off. This is what it sounds like without Loud. Okay, so I know you can hear that difference. It's a huge difference. Like I said, I love this plugin. So it increases everything. It just makes it clearer. It's like it has a stronger impact. It's louder, stronger, and it's ready to release. Okay, so I would say Loud definitely works. So let's check out another track. Oh, let's check out the loudness meter. All right, before we put Loud on it, well, with Loud deactivated, this is what it sounds like. So about -14, -13, -14. All right. Now Spotify and Apple Music, they have different levels, but you know, some of them limited to 14, 13, 12, something like that. Now, we're talking about perceived loudness. So even if your track is hitting at like -7 or -9, 8, something like that, it's going to sound louder than a track that's only hitting at like 14 coming in to the platform. So keep that in mind. The louder, the better. You know, there is a such thing as too loud, for sure. But there you have it. So let's go ahead and see what it sounds like, or see what it's hitting at with the loud plugin activated. All right, so we're going to say about -9, and this is a target of -8 LUFs. And it's doing a really good job of getting it up there. It's got it at about -8.9, okay, 9.6, okay. So it's close. It's not completely accurate, and it doesn't have to be right on the nail. You just want it to be loud enough. You want it to be clean and clear. -8, -9 is well over the threshold that it needs to be at. It's right where it needs to be to sound a little more impactful, cleaner, and more professional through most speakers. Okay, all right, so there you have it. Now let's go ahead to another track. Let's see how it sounds just using different sounds. All right, so this is more of a boom bap type track. Let's hear how it impacted this. Now I produced this again using the Loud plugin on the master chain as I made the beat. Okay, so that's what this is meant for. All right, so that your natural decision making results in a ready release track. All right, as a producer. Now every producer is not also a mixing engineer, and you got to understand that these are two different skill sets. You have a producer, a person who arranges, composes, and creates the music, and then you have the mixing engineer, the person who their skill set is to bring the best out of that music with sonics. Sonically, that is a whole nother skill set that a lot of producers try to combine, and it just causes a lot of it discourages a lot of us, so with Loud, this is intended for you to be able to just produce and release. All right, that's what this is for. So let's check it out. Let's see what happened here. Now this is with it activated. All right, so let's turn it off and see what it did. All right, so as you can see, when I turn off Loud, it actually technically is peaking. Look at that. Now when I turn Loud back on, not only is it louder and more impactful, but it's no longer peaking. So that's another thing that Loud does is it won't necessarily bring your volume down, but it attempts to prevent peaking in the most transparent way possible. So if you have your volumes in a reasonable range, now if you have your stuff peaking way over the top, it may not even make a difference. Okay, so just understand, like if you bring a sound in or a mix into this that's already loud, super loud, it's only gonna exaggerate that loudness. Okay, so with that being said, if you bring in a sound that's way too soft, or a mix that's very soft and that's not really hip hop and R&B, or something like jazz, or something like a soft rock, or something like that, doesn't really get super loud, trying to reach the target LUFs is going to be difficult, because the plugin is not meant to like force or like boost it to the max. Okay, so it does it transparently, it does it subtly. Okay, so if you have a very low mix, don't expect it to get to the target LUFs. All right, it's going to increase the perceived loudness of the track, but it may not get to the target of where you're trying to go, especially if you're not producing R&B and hip hop, which typically has a lot of drum and bass. So that's one thing I will say about this plugin. It will clip it for you within reason. Now, another thing we can do is we can widen the mix. So if you have a mix that's not very wide, or you don't want to deal with the panning too much, you can use this to widen the mix out and make it sound a little bit more to give it more space. You understand? So let's see how it sounds. Yeah, that's real nice, man. So yeah, like my opinion is that this thing is going to be on my master track. I know that, so that I could be producing more, getting more done, and not worrying about the mix at the end, or worrying about, oh man, I got to fix that later or whatever. How it sounds is how it's going to sound released, and it's going to sound loud. It's going to sound good. So I'm a big fan of Loud. Love this thing. Okay, that's my honest opinion. And y'all go check it out. Peace.